Folks, it has now been 3 long months since I featured any Nigel Richards games on this channel, and today we are going to fix that with one of the most memorable games from his catalog from the 2012 North American Championship. Heading into the championship this year, Nigel was in the midst of his unparalleled streak of dominance in the world of Scrabble, having won all of the North American and World Championships in 2010 and 2011 heading into this event. The legendary game you're about to see came in just round 3 of the 2012 event against strong expert Randy Greenspan. With the first move against Randy, Nigel plays footer for 26, and with 3 A's on his rack, Randy plays Ava for 15, a solid move despite the fact that Kava was not yet valid, which would have made his choice even stronger with a C remaining on his rack. On the other hand, the F on Nigel's rack is a valid hook in this game. His problem is that he doesn't have any palatable plays using it on this turn, so he cleverly plays Orzo for 33 to retain his F along with synergistic scoring tiles. If Randy doesn't have the L or K for Lava or Kava, Nigel will be poised to strike hard on the triple after drawing vowels. While Randy doesn't have either of these hooking letters, he has an even better option, the obscure bingo of Acanthe for 80 points, which, to his credit, he spots and plays to take an early lead over Nigel. With Fava now blocked, Nigel draws the J and takes his clear best option of Joy for 44, while Randy has several decent options for his Y. It looks like his top play here is the tricky Undi for 38, but perhaps missing this possibility, he plays the still solid Yod for 28, hoping for a bingo as soon as possible. Nigel draws more consonants and has no good options. He does well to keep his lone vowel with Fjord for 16, which is actually also one of his highest scoring plays here. Randy doesn't draw a bingo, and he has a couple ways he could proceed. He could play something shorter, keeping more of his good bingo tiles, and try for a 7-letter bingo on the top row with Doug or Yag, or he can turn more tiles and try to land one of the 2 unseen blanks with a play like Gurnet. Ultimately, he opts for the latter and plays Urgent, which has one important additional nuance. The T hook for Turgent is now in play. Nigel doesn't have a 7-letter bingo of his own, nor does he have a T for Turgent. However, he has a very solid looking option of just O for 33, keeping relatively flexible low point tiles for later. He could also play Dole for 39 to score a bit better at a slight hit to his leave quality. Instead, he makes the type of stunning play he is well known for. Nigel actually has a playable bingo here, but it's not a 7 or an 8-letter word. It's a disconnected 9-letter word through the E and D already on the board of HIERODULE for 64 points. This is a gorgeous find, but it has one obvious and major drawback. It creates an absolutely huge spot for an S hook with all 4 S's and both blanks unseen. However, Nigel can take heart in the fact that Randy clearly did not have an S on his previous move, or else he would have bingoed with Gurnets instead of playing Urgent. Often, when your opponent plays a relatively low number of tiles, it's a sign that they're holding some excellent letters like the S in reserve. If ever there was a time for Nigel to be comfortable making a volatile play like this, it's now, when this word is the only available bingo, by far the highest scoring move, and Randy has just played off 6 tiles, forcing him to pull an S on his replenishment draw if he's going to use the spot. In fact, Randy does not draw any of the S's or blanks, and he's just had his potential bingo of Gainlier to the R of footer blocked by HIERODULE. I'm sure it crosses his mind to consider challenging this word, which he may have never seen or heard of before, but at this point, Nigel's reputation for flawless word knowledge is well established, and he correctly opts not to challenge. The computer engine wants Randy to just play a single I here, keeping very bingo-prone tiles for next turn, but perhaps motivated by wanting to draw an S, he elects to spend more tiles here with Giga for 12. But while Nigel does draw the Q without a U after his crazy bingo, he also does draw the first S of the game, and he has exactly the right letters to absolutely crush his own spot with Cades for an insane 117 points. Although Randy's early lead is ancient history, his draw of the first blank comes at just the right time, and he can answer with hemline with a blank H for 80 points on the top row, which is his highest possible score here. It is a great find, but Nigel draws the second blank after Cades along with a T, and he takes full advantage of the Turgent hook here for the 82-point bingo of Tongmen, surging back into a huge lead. Randy's draw contains the clunky KVW combination, and he grabs his highest scoring option of K for 36. While Nigel draws duplicated B's and L's, he makes a strong play of Lux for 30. Although this does set up a concerning E hook, it will also allow him to play Bible for an excellent follow-up score if he draws one of the many unseen I's. Randy doesn't draw an E and is forced to play Whip for 18, while Nigel does draw an I and plays Bible for 41, just as he surely foresaw. Randy plays Vac in an attempt to keep his vowel and draw a spread-cutting bingo, while Nigel makes a nice play to take out the whip hooking lane with Watt for 27, hooking whipped. Randy does draw into one playable bingo, and he spots it. Outspend for 65. There are several potential triple-triples Nigel can have here in response. Madeiras, Madresses, sidearms, and sidewise. But overall, the odds are quite low, making the bingo a good choice by Randy. In fact, Nigel has none of these and makes his customary top endgame play of Swami for 50, after which Randy makes his own top play of Sorry for 16, leading to a final score of 530 to 381. Randy actually played very well in this game overall, making no major mistakes and several excellent finds, but Nigel's three-turn sequence of HIERODULE, Cades, and Tongmen is one of those that you just don't see very many other players ever pulling off. Longtime fans of this channel may recall that the dramatic finish to the 2012 North American Championship between Nigel Richards and fellow Scrabble legend David Gibson was one of the most epic moments in tournament Scrabble history, and I covered that dramatic conclusion in not one but two episodes of Scrabble history a few years back, so if you're curious how this tournament wound up, definitely recommend checking out those videos. There are many more Nigel Richards games to come that I have yet to cover in his incredible catalog. If you don't want to miss any of those, consider subscribing to my channel as I continue to reach towards 100,000 subscribers on this channel. Thank you so much to all of you for your support. So, hope you enjoyed another amazing Nigel game, and as always, thanks for watching.